Hey babes, Abby J here, and today, let's get real. Let's get down to it because we are talking about what to do when your life sucks. And we've all been there. And that's why I'm doing this video. Like, we have been there where you wake up or you look in the mirror or something happens to you and you just realize that you don't like where your life is right now. You don't like what's happening. This personally happened to me. So I was at a really low point in my life and I was just going through though, holding it together. And then I'd actually pulled into the Home Depot parking lot because that's one of my favorite stores, parking lot, and gone in the store. I went back and I had forgotten that there was a cement barrier in front of me. I thought I could pull through, but I couldn't. And so I started to pull through and I hit that and it like scraped my car a little bit and I was like, "Arr!" And I remember that was the last straw that broke my back, right? We wonder, what is the tipping point in our life? And that was it for me. I put my car in park. I started to sob in this Home Depot parking lot. And believe me, I was not crying because I'd accidentally bumped into the cement barrier. I was crying because my life sucked, and that was the point where I was just like, sweet, and now the Home Depot parking lot hates me too. If you can relate to that, girl, keep watching this video because I'm going to share with you some tips on how to turn your life around when it is not going the way you want it to. So the first thing that you've got to do is you have got to commit to joy. Now, I know that tip is going to irk you. That tip is going to be like, whoa girl, you do not get me. I thought we were relating, but you're not, because how could you tell me to commit to joy when there is no joy in my life? I want you to take a step back from this, and I want you to realize that one, there's joy in everything that we do, but two, this isn't me telling you, oh, just be happy, slap a sticker on, put a happy face on. No, this is me telling you that your new standard of living needs to be a joyful standard of living. So often, we sink very slowly but surely into a life that sucks, into a life that isn't what we wanted to live or wasn't what we'd planned for ourselves in high school and junior high, because we don't set standards for ourselves. So get real, get clear on what is your standard for living and accept nothing less. I have a standard that if I'm not happy in my work, in my career, in my profession as a coach, then I'm not gonna do it anymore. It's as simple as that. But people make this too complex and they say, oh, but I have to work at my job that I'm in right now that I hate, that's making my life suck. Or I have to stay in this relationship because they need me or whatever. I am telling you that if it does not bring you long-term lasting joy and meet a standard for the life that you want to live, then it has no place in your life. So get crystal clear on what your standards are, and I challenge you to raise them. Because we live to whatever standards we settle for. And what are you settling for right now that has led you to a life that sucks? Tip number 2 is to take radical action. So often when it comes to life change, it's pretty gradual and it's pretty goal by goal, stepping stone. Maybe something big happens like you graduate school or get a new job and it jumps. But I'm telling you that when your life sucks, this is not the time to just baby your way out of it. This is your time to take radical action. Now, don't go crazy. Don't go do anything that you're going to regret later. But now that you've set those standards, what radical action needs to happen for you to hit those standards? Maybe you totally need to rethink your diet or your relationships or move out or change environments or, change your whole mindset and philosophy. These are things that you can be 100% in control of, but take action to meet those standards that you have now identified that you need in your life. Because if you are gonna wait for Monday or the weekend or when it's just the perfect time for you to finally, quit or move on or do something else with your life, it's never gonna happen. It's never gonna be the perfect moment. So take radical action today to meet your new standards of living. Tip number 3 for you is to get crystal clear on where you are going and where you want to go with your life. So often, people, especially like you and I who've been in like the pits of like, this sucks, I never want to come back here again. We know what we don't want, right? We don't want what we have right now, or we don't want an awful job that we're experiencing now, right? It takes us kind of experiencing those to know what we don't want, but it's way more important to know what we do want. Because when you know what you want, you can go after it. But if you're really vague and saying, well, I just want a better life, I just want a better relationship or a better boyfriend, or, you know, just better. What is better? Because better to you might not be better to somebody else, or vice versa. So get crystal clear on that. I've got a couple of videos on like how to build your dream life and, you know, how to set these goals. So I'm gonna link those for you below, and you can do some more homework into this step. But get crystal clear on what a solution actually looks like. Because things can get better for you. And, you know, if the example is that you hate your job right now, but you get a new manager, like, that might be a solution, but it also might not be a solution if you hate the actual day-to-day of your job. So get crystal clear on what's a solution and what you can own in that solution. Oh, tip 4 for you is so vitally important, and it's important on every stage of the journey of your crawl out of this life that sucks and is not going to plan, and it is to correct course. So you've set new standards. You're taking radical action. You know where you want to go, right? You gotta correct the course as you go. I am a firm believer that you should just run after your goals, and as you go, just course correct a little bit, because an object in motion is so much easier to guide and to move and to flow and to get to where you want to go than something that's just staying still. And so think about it, when you're on a road trip or when you're even using GPS, sometimes we take the wrong road. Sometimes we go down the wrong path when we think it's the right one. We didn't mean to. You and I want to get to our destination as soon as possible, right? But sometimes we look at the map, or we think we know, and we say, oh, I think this is a shortcut, or I think this is better, or honestly, and I do this with GPS all the time, I literally thought that's where I was supposed to turn, right? And then it says recalculating. And more often than not, it doesn't add any time to your trip, right? You're just having to take an extra left turn or an extra right turn. The same is true with our lives and with our goals. You might go after something that you think is the cause of what is causing your life to suck, and realize that, hey, that actually wasn't the problem. Like, it fixed it, I'm glad it's better, but I now see the bigger problem. So don't be afraid to course correct as you go about changing your life. Now, my 5th tip for you is to work on your mindset. Mindset, the thoughts that we tell ourselves day in, day out about our life matter. They matter so much. And I'm gonna share with you an example in my own life of where my mindset totally changed. So for the last couple of years, my whole mindset has been, my life is awesome, it's amazing, like, do not get me wrong, but when my husband is out of school, my life is just gonna explode into change. It's gonna be so wonderful, it's gonna be so amazing, right? And guess what? That's kind of true. I see where my mind is getting that. I won't have to pay for tuition anymore. We won't have to be gone every evening. Like, he could get a better job, right? There's a lot that is true about that statement. But I remember sitting there one day and the thought hit me, and I'd never had this thought before in my life. What if Josh never graduated? What if graduation never came? And I sat there. And I sat there, and I sat there with that thought, because to me, that was this big milestone. Oh, if I could get past that, my life's gonna change. It's gonna be better. I'll be happy someday when that happens, right? And so to like have that thought of the opposite of like, what if it never happens? And I sat there and I started to think through it. And it's actually one of my favorite coaching tools, is think through what's the worst case scenario that can happen. And I said, well, we would still live in this house, which I love. And he'd still probably have a job similar to his own or one like it, and that's fine. He makes enough money. And we'd probably eat the same food and do the same thing. And like, I just went through these things, and I realized that I was totally cool with that answer. If the worst case scenario happened and like school never happened for us, and that graduation or better job or more money never came, I was okay with that because I was okay with my life right then. And I didn't know I was okay with my life right then until I stopped and thought about it. Completely changed my mindset. I went from like, oh, someday, I can't wait for that to happen, to being like, I love my life. I can't wait for the next step. I can't wait to get it even better. But I love my life right now. And if something is like pricking me or poking me that I don't like in my life, I get rid of it because I can't wait for someday to come to fix it. That was a complete mind shift. Like, nothing changed in my life. My husband didn't suddenly graduate. I didn't suddenly have more money. I didn't suddenly have like a different house or any of those big goals. It was just a mindset change. I want you to look at your life, look at your mindset, and seriously overhaul it, overthink it, challenge some of your thoughts in life, and rethink them into thoughts that serve you. Well, babe, there are 5 tips for you on what to do when your life sucks. And like I shared with you, I just shared with you little glimpses, but if you've been on my channel, I think you've heard a little bit more of like my struggles or some things that I face. And I want you to know that you aren't alone in this. It's not bad to have these moments of saying, I don't like where my life is right now. It's actually incredibly powerful to have that introspect. So don't feel bad about that. Just know that your life is 100% in your control. And especially if you can work on your mindset, the doors will open for you. So listen to these 5 tips, try them out. Let me know down below, which tip are you struggling with? Which tip do you want more advice on? Comment down below and I will get back to you. Please also, if yours is a little bit more private, you can reach out to me via Instagram or email. That info's down below as well. I'm gonna link for you as well videos that are going to help you through this journey. So, babe, best of luck. You've got this, and I know that when you set those new standards of joy, your life is going to change. So, can't wait to see you in my next video. Abby J out.